Hello and welcome to this webinar. My name is Roger. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Winalyze. And today I'm going to explain how to build a fast quoting underwriting system. So the contents of this webinar are: what is a fast quoting underwriting solution and what are the benefits that it can provide to our organization? What do we need to know before implementing this type of solution, and what kinds of solution exist in the market? So the reason why we are talking about this, why fast querying solution exists, is because there is a problem that needs to be solved. According to Accenture, between 15 and 20% of the critical data that agents collect from their potential customers is wrong. And this problem is adding underwriters a lot of manual tasks because they need to double check the data they receive while they are ignoring some of the real risks of their potential customers. So a fast query solution can be the perfect way to solve this problem, but also to increase underwriting efficiency. Nowadays, traditional underwriting requires our potential clients to fill up a lot of data points. So this process is slow because they spend a lot of time doing this task. It can be inaccurate because some of the data points may be filled manually, and therefore there can be a lot of mistakes. And it is manual for both the potential client but also for the underwriter. So the solution is a fast quoting underwriting, and the perfect view would be a quoting system that only requires our customers to fill up 2 data points. For commercial underwriting, it can be possible to be done with only the name and the postal code of the business. So why is this possible? Because the rest of the data required to complete the quoting process is automatically filled by the fast quoting solution, which is connected to data providers. We will see a little bit more of this after. So the fast quoting benefits are: it is faster. We spend less time filling these quotes, and it is faster for the underwriters as well. It is more accurate. The data we're gathering automatically can be of a higher quality than the data that is manually input in the system. And it is automated. In a matter of seconds, all the quoting system can be complete versus the amount of minutes that currently underwriters are spending. So what we need to know before implementing a fast quoting solution is different aspects, and we need to perform a previous assessment. We need to understand what is the problem now, to measure aspects like how much time are we spending on this, in order to be able to design the future that we want to have in our underwriting system. We need to choose the product type that will be the first for this type of project. We need to also partner up with data providers that will help us to automatically fill the data required. And we need to assess what is the connectivity that we have with our IT departments and how ready are our systems to connect with data providers, and also with legal, the type of data that we are collecting, if it is compliant with the data regulations, and if we can actually manage this type of data internally. So just an example, if we are assessing what are we doing nowadays, what are our metrics, 3 KPIs that I will suggest is the time. How much time are we spending on average per policy to underwrite them? Efficiency. How many data points do we need to double check before underwriting a customer? And conversion. How many customers are actually buying this insurance when we are giving them a quote? If we know these, we then can design the future. So if we are spending nowadays 20 minutes per quote, we can aspire to have a system that will allow us to spend only 1 minute. If we are double checking 12 data points, maybe we can only check 2 data points. And of course, the conversion will be higher. It is demonstrated and very well known that the less time we make our customers wait to know the price of their product, the more likely they are to buy this product. And insurance is not different in this sense. So in order to assess the product type, depending on the product, it can be more complex to implement this type of system. Some of the aspects to consider are how many data points we need and how difficult they are to get. So, for example, in commercial insurance, D&O insurance could be a very interesting product because it only requires a few data points, and this can be easily obtainable from data sources. For example, turnover, address, employees' numbers, and activity are data points that can be accessed by just Googling an enterprise and checking 3 or 4 websites. So D&O insurance, in case you have it in your organization, can be a very interesting product to start implementing for scoring solution with. But other aspects have to be considered, as for example, how many volume of quotes are we receiving per product, because maybe we want to solve first the one that has more quotes, or how difficult it is for us to underwrite a specific product. Maybe we're spending a lot of time in property insurance and we want to reduce the time we're spending in it. So these are some thoughts that you may want to have before implementing these kind of solutions. And in order to assess the data providers, we need to consider 3 aspects. The type of data they are providing. We need to know what type of data they are providing in order to understand if they will be able to provide all the data we need to complete this fast scoring solution. Are they going to be able to provide all the data? Are they providing only one specific type of data, such as financial data? So, for example, there are solutions like Dun& Bradstreet or other databases that only provide financial data, while solutions like Winalyze, and let me mention it, are gathering and collecting data from different aspects, property, opinions from clients, financial data as well, and so on, in order to be able to provide all the data necessary for the fast scoring solution and reduce as much as possible the number of data points we're asking our potential customers. We need to assess the flexibility of the data provider. So, are they flexible in implementing new data sources, for example? Are they flexible in managing different languages if we belong to an insurer that works in more than one country or more than one language, in order to, let's say, escalate this solution within our organization? Are they flexible to connect their systems with our systems as well? So flexibility is quite important in order to understand what is the future of partnering up with a data provider. And then connectivity. What type of connectivity is required from the data provider in order to exchange information? Are they requiring an API? Are they flexible to implement other type of connections? And this same thought is something that we have to have internally. We need to check with our legal department what is the connectivity that we have. Do we have an API connection ready? Do we have other types of connectivity? Can we establish any kind of data exchange system? If we know the connectivity, we will also know if we are able to have a real-time fast scoring solution. And then with the legal department, as I mentioned before, it is very important to understand what is the type of data that we are going to manage. Is it personal data? Is it data that we can manage without any kind of legal problem or issue? Is there any data we need to avoid in order to have the approval for this project? So those are the type of questions that we need to ask internally before implementing the system. So what type of solutions are out there and can we use in our organizations? As I mentioned before, connectivity is one of the main aspects, and depending on the connectivity that we have, we will either have an integrated solution, which is ideal, and have all-in-one underwriting system, or we will have an external solution, which can still be very helpful, to be honest. But the external solution maybe require the underwriter to interact with different interfaces. On one side, we will have the data provider interface. On the other side, the underwriting system of the insurance company. And on the other side, we will be receiving the data from the agent and broker. So just to understand a little bit deeper how both system works. In an integrated fast scoring solution, the agency will send the insurer the data collected from the customer, and this will send the data provider the same information or the information necessary. If there's an API connection established, this exchange of information will be done in seconds, and the data provider will automatically collect the data required to fulfill the quoting process, will send it back to the insurer, who will complete the process by assessing the quote and the premium, and will send that back to the agency. This whole process will take only a few seconds, and it can be done by only asking the customer 2 or 3 data points. But in case this is not possible, there is still a very good solution to increase underwriting performance. So the agency will do the same, will send the insurer the customer data, and then the underwriter will introduce the data in the analytics platform, in the data analytics provider. This interface will show and display the data collected for this customer and will make it possible to download by the underwriter, who will collect it and introduce that into the insurer system. Then the insurance company will deliver back the premium and the quote. As I mentioned, this may not be in real time, but it can really reduce the underwriting times that we are spending per quote. So just to give an example, this is the interface of Winalyze, where the underwriters come to the platform accessing by their browser. They introduce the name of the company and the address of the company they want to insure, because this interface is focused in commercial insurance. And when they click upload data after this simple process, they get all the data that we need to fill the quoting process. So general data like what's the website of the company, how many reviews they have, different locations of the shops, the activity of the business hours, data from property registers as well, data from the business itself, and then the location aspects, the satellite view, the view from the outside of the shop, and even pictures from inside the shop, in order to allow underwriters assess in what materials these shops are built. So just to wrap up, conclusions, what we need to know before implementing a fast querying solution and what we need to have. We need to establish KPIs. We need to know what is going on today and how big is the problem that we have today. And then we need to establish what do we want in the future. What do we want to get from a fast querying solution? We need to choose with which product are we going to start this solution. We need to choose the most simple one in order to make things easier. And we need to assess different data providers, how compatible they are, if we can establish a connection with them, and what type of data are they providing. And of course, we need to test this solution at a small scale. We can ask data providers to have a demo. We can ask them to analyze a selection of our customers. And in order to build this sample, I will recommend to select businesses from different sizes and different industries in order to be able to assess if the data providers are stronger in one specific industry or if they can provide data from all the businesses. And once this is tested, I think we are ready to implement a fast querying solution for our underwriting department. So I hope this webinar or this content was useful to you. I know this is a very basic overview of what we need to do to implement a fast querying solution, but there will be more editions about this subject and this topic in the upcoming months, as we are doing one webinar per month. So that's it for today, and I hope to see you all in the next month's webinar. Thank you.